And we're working on a WJ. You're going to need a deep well 11 millimeter and a couple extensions and a ratchet to get to all the bolts. Oil pan needs a 11 millimeter deep well and a 13 or a 14, I believe. I believe it's a 14 due to it being a Jeep. Most of them are 14s. It's a very easy and simple job to do. It can look intimidating sometimes. You just gotta dive in and do it. Here I am taking all the oil pan bolts out, and we changed the oil pan gasket, oil filter, oil pump, and oil filter screen or whatever it is for the pump, and it did gather oil pressure again. Draining out all the oil, it seemed to be very thick. He said he did put Lucas and a couple other things in there to try to see if it would gather up pressure again. Thanks everybody for watching and following and just the support and everything. For us little creators, it takes a little bit to get going. I'm going to work on getting better camera angles and more videos I do. I did pick up this little cheap ratchet from O'Reilly's for like $40, I think. Wasn't too bad a deal. It seems to be working pretty alright for small jobs. I have broke one once taking a bolt bumper off, a bolt out of a bumper, but nothing too serious. You can do little things with, but don't try to do no big jobs with, obviously. This job was pretty easy with this Jeep due to it being lifted already. We are taking these bolts out. Some of them was a pain to get to. They wasn't too awful. It's just the sockets I had were too thick to fit in there. Beside the rubber on the back side of the oil pan. But other than that, everything's pretty easy to get to. Even if it was not lifted, I believe you can get to them without taking the front axle out. Just jack the body up, and I believe everything will come out pretty easy. It's not too bad of a job. Everything seems to work out when you're doing these. You only need like 2 sockets, some extensions, and a ratchet really to do this whole job. And then the parts usually come with your new gaskets, except for oil pan. You need to buy a new gasket for that. And other than that, it ain't too bad. Thanks for sticking along and watching. Sound on the original video wasn't working out. Some parts of the original video, quite a bit of cussing in it, so trying to do a voiceover to maybe get rid of that, because YouTube don't allow profanity or anything, so just trying to stick to what's good on here. But you know, you can't help what anybody says. It's in all of us. But you know, use your knee right here. That's what I did for my third hand. These jobs are nice to do. I like to get more of them through in the future to just make videos and more content for everybody. I know I got some boring videos because I ain't the best at doing videos yet. Hopefully it grows and gets better the farther I go on here with these videos. And then again, thanks everybody for watching if you have stuck along this long. I know it's a long, boring video, but if you need to see a video for a reference, maybe this helps out. Not terribly bad. You ain't gotta take off much to do these. Here we got the oil pan off and working on everything else. Getting ready to throw the new oil pump in. As you'll see in this video throughout it, you see where the new versus the old, how bad the old pumping screen was. Normal people don't never change those in their old cars. They just drive them until they don't run no more. So it'd be a good idea to check those if you got a older vehicle or something that you think has been ran hard or not. lining these oil pan gaskets up. It was a little difficult on this job because I did not have no Permatex with me. So a good idea would be to buy a little bit of black Permatex just to put on the oil pan gasket just to help hold it in place until you get the oil pan on. It was a little bit more difficult in that aspect because it kept on wanting to fall off the oil pan as I was getting it in there. So just a tip, maybe. As you can see, I was fighting the oil pan gasket. But eventually we got her up in there and it didn't leak and everything worked out. I did forget to torque down everything. So I did meet up with him later and have to tighten up his oil pan bolts and all that stuff. So just everybody remember to torque down your bolts and tighten them up and double check everything. I somehow fast forward the end of it so it looks weird.